Well, hey there, folks, and thank you so much for joining me here at Tesla, Northwest and EVs. In fact, thank you everyone who has subscribed. I am now over 1,000 subscribers, and I am just excited. It took me a little over a year, but we made it, and it's thanks to all of you. So thank you so much for hitting that subscribe and going on this journey with me. What are we doing in this video? Well, on the flip side, we're going to try to do a battery health test again. Remember, we attempted one when we first got back from our trip, and we had a little bit of a struggle. So, situation's right, we're going to try it again. So join me on the other side of the card, and we are going to try out battery health test in a 2022 Tesla Model Y, who just did 6,000 miles of DC fast charging across the American West. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, folks, and as you can see, Amos is all nice and clean. And why again are we going to be doing this health test? Well, we just got back from a trip, epic Tesla Texas road trip 2023, where we hit up the Grand Canyon, went across New Mexico, and basically just did a big circle through the United States. And in the process of that, we put over 6,000 miles on this car. And pretty much all the charging was DC fast charging. In fact, we did 52 supercharges and 1 EV or Electrify America charge. So what are we going to do? We're going to get into the service screen and we're going to charge this baby up and see what kind of battery health we got. So let's go inside after we plug in the car. All right, folks, so we are inside of Amos. We plugged the car in. It's currently using 9 of 48 amps, and that's because it's running the air conditioning. A couple things that I'm going to try different from the last time. I'm at a 13% state of charge. That is about the same or lower than it was when we tried this a week ago. I also put the charge limit up to 100%. Last time it was down around 50. I don't know if that made a difference, but you know what? We're going to make sure that there's nothing standing in the way of trying to have a successful test. So we should be all set. 13% state of charge, charge limit 100. Let's go ahead and access the Tesla service screen, and we should all be an old hand at this now, but we've got some new subscribers, so I'll show you how to do that. What we're going to do, we're going to go down here, we're going to click software, we're going to hold Model Y for about 3 seconds, and then we get our service access, and we're going to type in our password, which is just service, all lowercase, SERVICE. Now this is at least for North American cars. Over in Europe and the Pacific Island nations and whatnot, I can't tell you, but here at least in the North American cars, this is how you do it. So we're going to click enable. Once I do this, I'm going to lose my air conditioning, so we're going to move fast. Enable. All right, we get this lovely screen up here. This is our service mode screen, so we can see our information that we normally have. Where I want to go is high voltage, and I'm going to go to high voltage system. There we go, and we can see the last time I did this was 153 days ago, and it was a 91% health test. I ran this about a year after I'd had the car. Now, obviously, I tried it a week ago and it didn't work, so the car didn't register it. A couple other interesting things real quick. The car shows a 13% state of charge, but inside the service screen, we can see it's actually about 12.5%, so that's something to be kind of mindful of as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So what do? We just click Health Test, and it asks us to unlock the gateway. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use the blinker brindle, so the left-hand brindle, and I'm going to pull it up while I hold the brake. And we can see the gateway is unlocking. And we had a great success. I'll turn the blinker off. So now our gateway is unlocked. Now all I have to do is hit Health Test. And it says, vehicle needs to be plugged into a greater than or equal to 6 kilowatt AC charger. Well, guess what? We're hooked up to an 11.5. I've got a nice 48 amps behind me. This test will take up to 24 hours, no problem. Do not interact with the vehicle or the test may abort. I did get in and out of the vehicle a couple times, so we wanted to make sure that I don't do that either. So once we start this test, we're going to come out and just check on the car after about 2 hours, but we're not going to touch the screen or try and interact with it in any way that might mess up the test. So we're going to go ahead and hit run, and it says before running this, state of charge must be below 50%, no problem, and the vehicle must be plugged into an AC charging station. We're all good. And then finally, we should be committed up to 24 hours for this. So we're going to get this going, and then I'll take you outside and let you hear what it sounds like. Run. Okay, test is running. Test in progress. And now I can hear the car turning fans on and getting itself ready to run the battery down. Now the idea behind this is the car will drain the battery down to 0, monitor it, and then charge it up to 100%, and then see, oh, how much power was I able to put back into the battery. And once we know that, it can give me a total battery health, and that would be a percentage of where we started at. Mind you, the car is about 1,000 miles under 40,000. So we've got 38,800 and some odd miles on the car. So we're getting up there in mileage too, and it's only a little over a year old. Okay, we want to make this short, so the test is running. I'll check back in a couple hours and let you know how it's going. We'll take you outside and let you hear the noises the car will make and what you should expect. And then, yeah, we'll see what the results are. Thanks, folks. Okay, folks, we're back outside, and now you can hear the car is running all kinds of its fans and whatnot, and that is so that it can create a load to pull down the battery to that 0% state of charge. And then once it reaches that, it'll charge itself up to 100. So don't be surprised if you hear the car making a bunch of noise, and it does it for a while. That's why you want the battery state of charge down low, so that the car doesn't have to generate a load longer than really necessary. In this case, again, we're at a 13% state of charge, but I could do it even lower, and I've tried it at a higher state of charge, and the test has failed. So we want to really get her low, and I'm still trying to get these bugs cleaned off of poor Amos. And you can see why PPF is such a good idea. Again, I've got a lot more rock chips than the last time we took a trip. All right, folks, we'll check in with you in a while after the car's had a chance to drain the battery some. Okay, folks, so it has been a little less than an hour, and just like last time, the car has drained itself down to an 8% state of charge. And as you can hear, it's running some fans on the inside, but the major load shedding, or major load, is done now. It's not running very hard. Yeah, it's just running some fans on the interior of the cab. So let's see what happens. This happened when I did the test last time. We got down to 8% state of charge, and then it seemed like it just kind of quit working. So we'll come back and check in a little bit. Again, it's been about 45 minutes, so we'll come check an hour or so. All right, so it's just been about 2 hours since the last time we checked on the car, and about 3 hours total since we started this battery health test. And I can tell you that we are now further along than our first test. We're down to 6% state of charge, but the car's not making any noises, hasn't really gotten any lower for about the last half hour. So I'm going to come check in another hour or two, and if the battery hasn't gotten any lower, then we are going to go in and restart the health test. Why? Well, I'm not real patient. So we'll come back, we'll check in a little bit, we'll see what's happening, and if the battery hasn't gotten any lower as a state of charge, we'll restart the test and see if we can force it to do a good test this time. All right, so I'll catch you on the flip side. All right, hey there, folks. So I know I said in the last little clip that I'd check in an hour or two. It's actually been about 4 hours. So we've been running the test for about 4 hours since the last time I checked in with you, and we've been running it a total now for about 7 hours. And I haven't changed anything, and I've been very careful just to get in and out of the car, like not trying to touch the gas pedal or the brake or anything. Just not that not that I'm really concerned with it mattering if you do that, but I don't want to do anything that might hurt the test. So I'm being very careful, like I said, not to interact with the car other than I got in to check it. And we can see my gateway is locked. That doesn't seem to be making a difference. And it is currently down at 4.4%. And that's why I'm not worried, because the test has continued to drain car's battery after the last time I checked in with you. And my experience has been, the last test I did, it drained down to 8%, and then it really didn't do much after that. So right now I'm feeling pretty confident that we got something good happening here. So I'm not going to bore you to death. You can see what it looks like. Some of the details real quick. We started the test at 13%. The car kicked on and was creating a load using all of its various fans and resistive heating and whatever else it has available, heat pumps, compressors, motor warming, whatever, all the things it does to make a load. It did that from 13 to about 8%. And once it hit 8%, it quit with the load shedding. And now it's just been sitting here just quietly for the last several hours, just slowly draining the battery till we're now at 4.4. So I'm going to be up for a couple more hours. I'm watching The Great Escape, awesome movie, and I'm going to see if it starts charging by then. So I don't know. If it has, and I'll come out here and do a quick check-in. Otherwise, we will come out here in the morning, we'll wrap this video up, and we'll see, hopefully, a successful battery health test, and we'll see what my new percentage of health is after doing a 6,000-mile road trip and 52 supercharges. All right, folks, thanks for staring at this exciting screen while you listen to me talk in the dark. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much again for everyone that's subscribed. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. And I have got a great new partnership with a company that I'm excited to bring you real soon, and that is Honshu Auto, which makes great accessories for Teslas and other EVs. All right, folks, thanks. We'll check in later. All right, so it is just about 11 o'clock, so only been about an hour since I checked in with you. I told you I'd tell you if it started charging. And I had checked, the car was at 4%, and literally like 2 minutes ago, it clicked on and started to charge. So we can see now, which I think was weird. Like I said, it was at 4%, it started to charge, and immediately it showed 9%, and now we're up to 9.7. The car's showing 10, so might be a little miscommunication between the app and the car, but it's a little bit wild that it jumped up that much as soon as it started to charge. So we're going to let it run. We're going to see what the results are in the morning. Hopefully they are good, and I don't know if there's anything else exciting that we can see. Let's look at charging. And we can see here 239 volts at 48 amp, single phase, and all this stuff is lit up and nice and green. So very, very cool. Don't think there's any reason for coolant system to be running, but we can take a look there. And refrigerant system shouldn't be on, and it's not. And we can look at sensors and valves, and I don't see anything too exciting there. So that's just a couple interesting things that you can check. We can go to power distribution real quick here. Shows that BMS charge, state of charge here for the high voltage battery shows 16.6%. So the BMS may need a little bit of a calibration. So anyway, we're going to just wait and see what happens, and I will bring you the results in the morning. Okay, folks, yeah, it shows 10% here. So thank you very much, and we'll see what happens on the flip side. Okay, folks, hey, good morning. It is 8 o'clock. So the car has been sitting overnight, about 8 hours, and we're now 100% charged. We show charge 100%, but it still says test in progress. So I'm going to let it sit for a few more hours, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, and I would think the test would be done. But we're supposed to give it a full 24 hours, which means that I need to let it sit for about 7 more hours till about 3 o'clock before I can really say this test is done. I did want to check, because remember we had a couple weird things that we saw, and now I'm looking over here. Before, when we were showing a 10% state of charge, this was showing 16%, and now we're at 99.2 and 100. So our BMS is pretty close to calibrated, hopefully, and things are happy. And if I go back to my charging, we can see that I'm just drawing a very minimal amount of power just for the car's usage. And in our high voltage system again, I'm showing test in progress still
and nothing going on. So we're going to let it sit. Again, we started the test about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. 24 hours is what they call for, and so we're going to wait and see what happens. We'll let it sit for a few more hours, but this test, for whatever reason, just, it seems to be a little bit persnickety. Let's put it that way. It doesn't seem like it always wants to work, but we're going to find out, and we'll check in with you again in a few hours and see if anything happened. Otherwise, we'll just call this done and a weird test. All right, folks, thanks.
And no drum roll there, folks, but guess what? We have a successfully completed battery health test, and we've got a battery health of 89%. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that we took a 6,000 mile road trip with over 52 DC fast charges, and the battery health has only gone down about 2%. So we only added about, a little bit of pack resistance. Nothing I'm overly concerned with. Again, the car battery is typically going to experience the most degradation in the first year or two of ownership, and after that it should be pretty negligible. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll probably check it again when we hit 60,000 miles or so. So awesome. Thank you so much for joining me and for being part of this channel. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera. We'll see if I can get myself on camera here. And I just appreciate everyone joining me. Thank you again for being part of this, and I just want to keep growing and getting better. So I'll catch you on the flip side as we do more testing. And again, fancy 89% battery health test. We only lost 2%. We'll catch you on the flip side, folks. Thanks again for joining me.